Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to solve another problem involving interpenetration, but this time it will be between a cone and a cylinder, right? So when you are given a question, if you look at the top right corner of the screen, you see the question. And the first thing we are told to do here is that we should redraw the front elevation, right? And what you see at the top right corner is the front elevation. So you draw what you see. Like I always say, the first thing you are going to do is to draw your horizontal line. And I'm going to call this my horizontal line this way. You can see that? Now, if you look closely to what you have in your top right corner, you discover that between from this point to this point here is giving us what? 108. So since I've drawn my horizontal line, I'll take the same um, set square, place it on my T square, and I'll draw a line this way, right? So this point where they meet will be the center. And since it's given 108, right? So I'm going to measure half of 108 towards the left and half of 108 towards the right, which is what? 54. So if I pick my compass and my meter rule and I'll measure 54, right? I'll measure what? 54. This is 50. This is 54 here. And I'll place it at this point. I'll mark the left and I'll also mark the right. That again. And I'm going to what? Ticking it. Since I'm sure that I'm moving from left to right. So what? I'll thicken it this way. You can see that this is what we've done here. So that is the base there. Now the next thing is the height is giving us 100 and what? 18. If you look at it, meaning from this point to this point is giving us what? 118. So I'll take my meter rule, right? I will start from 0 here or from 0 here on that line. Then I'll move. This is 100. This is 110, 115. Then we have 100 and what? 18 here. You can see that? That is my 118. Now I'll use my meter rule. I'll join it with my faint line first of all, this way. And I'll come here also with my faint line also this way. That is what I'm bringing out. Now if you look closely, we are told that this is the cone here, right? And you see this rectangular shape here is the cylinder that is penetrating the cone, right? So to get to that center of the cylinder, we're going to move a distance of what? From here to here, which is what? 42. So I'm going to measure from this point here, and I'll measure this 40, 41, 42. This is what we have here. Now I'll use my set square, my T square to that point, and I'll just draw a front line out first of all this way. You can see that? So it is meeting at this point here. Now, sometimes you might be given the length of the cylinder at which it penetrates the cone. Sometimes you just see dimensioning either here. So let me assume that the distance to this end of the cone, that is what? Giving us what? 58. So I'll measure from here. This is 58 here. From 58 here, to here. So this 58. So at that point, if you are not given at any distance, you just draw your what? Your vertical line. If you're not given a distance at any distance, you draw what? Your vertical line this way. You can see that at any given distance. If you like, you can come here, but if you are given, you measure. Now, the next thing we'll do is that the diameter is given, the thickness is given. So we'll say that from the question, we are told that from this point to this point here is given as what? Is given as 58, right? 58. So I'm going to measure 58. So to be 58 will give us 29 upward, 29 downward. So I'll use my compass and I'll measure 29 from here. This is 20, 29 is here. It's always good to use your compass to measure things like this. So I'll place it here and I'll mark 29, 29. You can see that. So once I've done that, I will now start to thicken it. So I'm going to thicken from here to touch here, and I'll thicken from here to touch here. Then I'm going to now close up this point here, from here to here. You can see that. Then I can now start thickening, because if you look at the diagram closely, you discover that from this point to this point is thickened. Then from this point to this point is also what? It's also thickened. Then from here to here is also thickened, right? So I have successfully brought out the front elevation. I have redrawn what? The front elevation. Now, if you look at the base of this elevation here, this cone here, you see a shape, a symbol that looks like file, that looks like a circle that is split into two. That is the symbol for what? For diameter, right? So it's telling us that what? The base of this triangle, which is a cone, is circular. Now what I will do is, I'm going to extend this my line upward a little bit. I'm going to extend it from here. I'll extend it this way. Can you see that? Now, if you look closely, so means, like I said, I will now look for any distance here to get the center of the circle. So if I move my set square, maybe I choose here, right? I will draw an horizontal line this way. Your target is that whatever you are drawing here must not touch this. It can be at any distance away from that point, right? So if I place my meter, I will now take the radius of this to here. You can see that. Now place it at the center here. Then I'm going to draw a circle, faint line this way. I'll draw a circle, faint this way first of all, right? Now, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to project this point downward. But before that, if you place your compass, you extend this line, because this is the plan, this is the elevation. Question says we should draw, the next question is that we should draw what? The plan. Even though you are not told, you need to draw the plan. Now if I come here, I'll place my set square this way on my t-square. Now I'm going to draw this horizontal line downward this way, just faint line first of all. So at this point is where it intersects with this horizontal line. So I will now measure from this point to this point, right? I'll come here. I'm going to mark here and what? And here. You can see that? So what I'll just do is I can easily project this line here to come straight down here this way, and I can project this line here to come straight down this way, which I'm going to explain to you sooner than later. So you connect this, you thicken it, you connect this to this, right? Because if you're looking from the top, you see that it is touching here. So we're going to connect this to this first of all, and I'll come here also. I'm going to connect this to this, and I'll close here up. So this is what we are having. So I can easily thicken from here, right? Thicken from here to here. That's what I did here. So we have gotten what we need here. This is how the plan will be. Well, now we need to draw the interpenetrating arc.
Brothers and sisters, this is a new year. But for you, what is going to make this year different from last?
Arc, both at this side and at this side. So what I will do is just like we did when we are doing the interpenetration of two cylinders, we'll apply the same thing here. I'll come in front of here, I will draw an horizontal line this way. I'll allow the line to at least meet up with both of them here, faint line, right? You can see. Then I'll place my compass at the center with the radius of here to here. I'll place my compass at this point. Then I'll draw a semicircle. I'll come here also, place my compass at this point, and I'll draw a semicircle. Is that okay? Now once I've done that, I'm going to divide my semicircle the way I've been dividing the semicircle. So if I place it with the radius of here to here, which we used to draw the semicircle, you can see that. I'll place it here, I'll mark up, and I'm going to mark down. I'll come here also, I'll mark here. I'll come here also, I'm going to mark here. So I'll use my rule, then I will rotate those points to the center of this semicircle here, this way, with my faint line. So what I have here. So I'm going to say this should be 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. It can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, anyhow of your choice, right? I'll do the same thing at the base here also. With the same radius I used to get this, I'll place it here, I'll mark up, and I'm going to mark down. I'll place it here, I'll mark this region, I'll place it here, I'll also mark this region, and I'll rotate them to the center. Just a front line. You can see that? So since I started with 3 here, I must start with 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. So then if you start with 3 here, you start with 0 here. If you start with 0 here, you start with 3 here. Now what I'll do, the next thing I'm going to do is to project all these points to project all these points to the sides of the triangle here, the cone. So the first one I'll project to touch here, that will be 0.3. The other one I'll project to touch here, that will be 0.2. This I'll project to come here, that will be 1. This I'll project to come here, that will be 0. This I'll project to come here, that will be 1. This I'll also project to come here, it will be 2. And this, the last but not the least, I'll project to come here, faint line, that will be what, 3. See the way I'm using my faint line? Now the next thing I'll do is that I'm going to project all these points downward. This is where it's getting technical. If I place my t-square or my set square this way, don't forget I use this to the center. This and this is lying on the same point. You can see that. I'll come to 3. I'll draw my line to this point. Right? You can see I draw my line to this point, so it will be what? 0.3. You can see that? That will be 0.3. Then I'll take my compass and I'll move it to 0.3. You can see that? Then I'll draw a circle with reference of what? 0.3. A circle with reference to what? 0.3. Now that is 0.3. I can easily project 0.3. So where 0.3 is between 0.3 is at this point. Altogether, where line 3 is meeting 3 is at this point. Then that 3 also, I'll project it up also. If you look at the line of 3, is moving. So this is another what? Another 3. See where I'm going? Let's be doing it one after the other. I'll come to 1, to 2. I'll project 2 downward to touch the horizontal line. And this is what? 0.2. With the help of my compass, I'll move my line to 2, right? And I'll draw a circle this way. That is my circle 2. I'll draw this line of 2, right? If I draw this line of 2, it will move until it touches the circle of 2. So this is the circle of 2 here, right? The circle of 2 touches it. Now, I'll go to the next 2 again. I'll draw my line to go and touch the circle of 2 again. You can see. Then, I'm going to project it up. So this is 3.3. This is 0.2. And this is another what? 0.2. That again, you don't have to label this. I'm just labeling it to give you a better understanding. Now that 0.2, I'm going to project it up. Again, you realize they are the same line because they are centrally on the same. They have the same center. Both the cylinder and the cone on the plan, they are centrally together. So if I project this up, the point of 2 to go and meet 2 here, and it meets the 2 here, you can see this 2 is coming to meet this 2 here. can see that 2 is meeting this 2 here. Now we're still moving. I'll come again. I'll project the 1 down. Why I'm using this 2 here, because this 2 is for the base here, and also this 2 is for the base here. So I'll come here, I'll project 1 down, project 1 down to touch here. So this is my line 1. I'll take my compass, I'll place it from the center of the circle to this point. Then I'll draw another circle with reference to 1, right? Then I'm going to project my line 1. So I project my line 1, where line 1 meets circle 1, that will be another point 1. Line 1 here also is going to meet circle 1 here also, that will be another what? Line point 1. Now I'm going to project it up this way. So projecting line 1 up to go and meet 1 here. You can see this will be my point 1. 1, 1 meets 1 here is another point here. Then I'll come again. 0. I'll project the 0 downward to touch this horizontal line. It is what? Point 0. I'll take my compass, place it at this point here to 0. And I'm going to draw another circle this way. Now, since I've drawn that 0, I'm going to project the line of 0. So this is a point of 0 here. So if I project this there to 0, this meeting 0 is meeting 0 here. And also 0 is meeting 0 here. That again, and I'm going to project the point of 0 upward this way. So this is where 0 and 0 meet. You can see that. Now I've gotten the 0 here. Is that taken? Now the next thing I'll do, I'll go to 1 again here. I'll project this line down. That will be for 1. Take my compass with radius 1. Right? Then I'm going to draw another circle. Now if you look closely, that is 1, right? So I'll move this 1 again to go and touch the line 1, the circle 1. Consider that. This is another 1 again. I'll come here again. I will extend that 1 again to go and touch circle 1. So this is another 1 again. You can see that? Then I'll project that 1 up this way. Projecting it up, I'll be having this. So where 1 touch 1 at this point. So the 1, 1. You can see that? Emitting here. This is 3, this is 2, this is 1, this is 0, this is another 1. I'll come again to point 2. I'll project this downward to touch the horizontal line. That will be what? 2, right? I'm going to take my compass, get it to this point, right? I'm going to draw another circle, then project the line of 2. I will extend it, this line of 2, extend it from here to go and touch the circle of 2. So this is another 2. I'll come again, extend the line of 2. This is another 2. Alright, and I'll now project the 2 upward this way to go and meet 2. Now, so where 2 meets 2 will be this point here. Right, this is another point 2. Then I'll project 3 downward. to touch here. Take my compass with radius 3 here. Going to project it this way, right? And now extend point 3. So this is 3 already. So where 3 meet 3 is at this point here. This is my 3 here. Then I'll extend it upward. So if you look at it, it's already there. Where 3 meet 3 is at this point here. This is point 3. So we have successfully brought out all the shapes we need, right? Because when you join two pipes, two objects together, right, they'll form they'll form what is called a curve of intersection. They'll have an interpenetrating arc. So for the plan, for the front elevation, this is the interpenetrating arc, which I'm about to do. While for the elevation, for the plan, this is the interpenetrating arc. So let's connect it, right? So if I from here, I'll join all these points together with the help of my um French curve. Taking, I'm going to join those points together. Let's just move. You can use your hand if you want to, but you just need a kind of accuracy. So if I join this, I would also say the line of best fits. So if I move this to this point, right? Then I come here to this point also. You can see we're moving this way, right? Then I'll connect these three together. Now just use your hand and connect it if you know you can do it correctly, right? This is what we have here. So that is the interpenetrating arc. So I'll come to the plan here, right? If you look at this, right, you will not be able to see all this because they are inside. So definitely everything here will be what? Will be hidden. Of course, looking from the top, you cannot see all this here, right? So we are moving forward. I'm going to just connect all this. So let me just use my hand and connect them together. Two, it should just be a front line. See that again? Should be a front line. Right? So let me just join this with this to make the work more effective. Because part of the teaching is for you to know how to use a French curve. So I just use this. Right, so from here, this is what you have here. So I just use to be hidden, which I explained to you why it is hidden. If you're looking from the top here, you cannot see whatever is inside, right? This is what is inside. So this is the interpenetrating arc in the plan, and this is the interpenetrating arc in the elevation, right? So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button.